What's up, guys? This is Nick at Stridewise.com, where I look at men's boots and high-end casual wear, and I have come out to Baltimore to hang out with Dale, also known as Aero Surfer LV, because I wanted to do a video on the best Truman boots from Truman Boot Company, and Dale has no less than 23 pairs of Truman boots. I don't know anyone or know of anyone who is more dedicated to obsessively wearing and buying the new ones and comparing to the old ones, and is familiar with the seasonal offerings of the brand as well. Truman Boot Company, they started out in Pennsylvania, moved to Colorado, and are now in Oregon.
Yes.
And what's interesting about them, they're all made in America, right? But they have the coolest leathers in the game, in my opinion. There are plenty of American-made boot companies out there, but none are as inventive and, dare I say, daring with the leathers. So, for instance, you got this like bright red one they came out with. You would never see this at a company, at a more traditional company like, I don't know, Red Wing or Whites or something like that, right?
Definitely.
They got these. They got multiple blue ones. They got this green one. This is maybe the most interesting one, black burgundy. It's a purple boot, but it's still got this very rugged, masculine sort of construction. You know what I mean? The trouble with Truman is that, like, the good thing is they're so good with trying out new weird leathers. The flip side of that is they don't have a lot of leathers and a lot of boots that are always on offer.
Right, exactly.
So we wanted to do a video on the best Truman boots. However, if we do all the coolest ones that have ever come out with, for instance, there's an extremely good chance that like 4 out of our 5 picks, or all 5 of them, you won't be able to buy. No one will be able to buy, right? So with this list, we're trying to do a mix of some really interesting one-offs and some perennial favorites that, at least generally speaking, at least hopefully, are always on offer.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Dale.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, my pleasure, my friend.
It's a true delight. Oh yeah, subscribe to his channel as well, Aero Surfer LV. We're doing the top 5 Truman boots here.
Okay.
What is number 5?
Number 5 is going to be these. These are the Truman boots in Tuscanello horse rump, sourced from the Mariam Tannery. These are about 3 years old, and it's just, this horse rump is just a gorgeous middle brown color, and these are some of my most worn Trumans, actually. They go with literally everything. I could wear them with dark denim, khakis. It's just that perfect middle brown color, and that horse rump is so supple and beautiful, and it ages really nice. I haven't treated these once. In fact, I don't dare treat these because I just want to see how they age, because they're aging very nicely without any help. So
what benefits would you say horse rump has over cowhide?
None, actually. I would say that actually it's very difficult to tell the difference between a standard horse rump and a standard cowhide when they're on your foot. They actually have the same wicking properties. They have about the same temper in most cases, I would say, and they use about the same ounce. So you can't really tell the difference between an equine or a bovine when it's on your foot. Now, if we're talking about shell cordovan, that's a completely different story because that's a different membrane altogether. But yeah, for the most part, if I told you these were cow, or if somebody told me these were cow, I would never know the difference. So
right.
There's really no difference.
I feel like these really stand out from Truman, largely because it's like a classic smooth brown full grain leather.
Yes.
And what Truman tends to do is use a lot of wax suede, a lot of like more modeled consistency, and this is like a really classic looking chunky boot. And what last is this on?
That's on their 79 last.
And that's the classic last.
Yeah, their first last. That's their traditional 79. Most of these boots are on the 79 last. There are a couple on their new 20 last, and there's one on their 55 last. So
okay. And just for people who are learning about this brand and boots in general, a last is the foot-shaped model that the boots are built around, and lasts are very important to a brand's identity because in an age where, you know, many of the same leathers and construction methods are available for anyone to learn, the last is like a secret sauce for a brand. So they might be very anatomically shaped, they might be more fashion shaped, they might have like wide, you know, sidewalls, or they might be more sleek. But the last is what largely determines the comfort and the boot's sort of DNA. And Truman's, most of them are on the 79 last, and this is the 79 last as well. Number 4, what is number 4?
It's gonna be Gobi Mohawk is number 4. This is a pair that I wouldn't have otherwise even chosen for myself had I not been into boots for as long as I have and had as many different variety of leathers as I had for me to really fully appreciate this Gobi Mohawk. As you can see, it's a very light color, which might throw off a lot of boot collectors because people are afraid of scraping them and staining them, and it shows, it leaves, you know, marks easier, but not in this case. This is actually a very hard-wearing leather. It's from Charles F. Stead, and it's got a ton of character to it, and it's a naked leather, so there's no pigments added to it. I assume it's named after the Gobi Desert because of that like off-white color.
If this is a naked, natural, undyed leather, why doesn't it look like the golden color of natural Chromexcel?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. Well, first off,
answer.
Yeah, this is a. I think this is a different. I might be speaking out of my depth.
A different tannage.
Yeah, it's a different tannage.
Right.
It's a waxed finish. It's a flesh out, so it's not going to be the smooth grain side.
All right, so this is a natural undyed leather, but it's rough out and it's waxed.
Yeah,
so that makes it very, very hard wearing and tougher than most natural leathers and a lot of full grain leathers as well. Let's talk about number 3. Those 2 options were seasonal offerings that may not be available, but these next 3, we're quite certain you'll be able to get.
Should be available.
All right.
These next 3 Truman has run, I think, since their inception almost, and they consistently run these 3, and they're some of my favorites. They can each of them be one and done boots. If you only needed one boot, you could opt for any of these 3 and they'll be one and done boots. So they'll get you through most any situation. Number 3 is the Stone Rambler, absolutely.
Stone Rambler. Tell me about this leather.
This is just a gorgeous leather. It's Charles F. Stead Stone Rambler. It's sort of a mix between a muddy brown and a slate gray color. It does look like natural stones. In fact, when you're walking around in the forest and you find stones, it's the same color. So like when you stand on them, nobody could see you because you're camouflage. It's got that gorgeous lug commando sole, Truman proprietary. They did a very good job on those soles. And it's their 79 last. And this is just such a versatile leather. It's tough and it goes with literally everything. In fact, this one and the next 2 I'm going to talk about go with literally everything. You can't go wrong with these. So versatile, so tough wearing. The Rambler is some of my favorite leather just because there's so much variation and depth to the surface appearance of it. It's got hues of dark and light, and you see a lot of veining, and you see a lot of abrasions and just everything. You know, you see really the animal's life in the boot. That's what I love, the organic feeling of, you know, feeling life in the boot.
Yeah, you can see like veins and stuff on this leather, can't you?
Yes, you can. Yeah, it's crazy. And right here, it almost looks like suede, right? But the rough out's on the inside. So
it's tougher and harder wearing than suede. And you get a layer of wax, which helps to keep it like resistant to the elements and salt and stuff. Right?
Yes, exactly. Heavily waxed. And I don't treat these either because I just love how they age without any help. I think just wearing them and just letting them age and just letting them patina, I think it really pulls out more character as time goes on. There's so much depth to these, and you won't discover it all until you're like 5, 10, 15 years in, so.
Yeah, it's brown and gray, which makes it one of those few leathers that can work with like earthy tones and also more, you know, black and white kind of tones.
If I could choose 3 boots, this would definitely be in the top 3 for me personally.
All right, what's the next one?
Coach Rambler.
Coach Rambler.
Coach Rambler is right here. I don't know where they get the name from, but this is very similar to stone. It's just a different color, also from the CF Stead tannery. So it's got a lot of these very cool high and low tones, a lot of cool character, a lot of cool veining, abrasions, scarring all throughout. In fact, what's really cool about this is it kind of looks like an orange to a tan color, but then in certain areas, like right here, it almost gets like sort of reddish and purplish. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really neat.
This is a little purplish.
Yeah.
So this is Rambler. So it's the same leather, it's a stone one. Obviously it's a different color, but otherwise, like, you know, same tannage, same way it gets treated, all that stuff. And what's interesting is, like, I feel like sometimes when people start out in boots and footwear, they think that orange can't be a very interesting or popular color.
Yeah.
But like Red Wing's like most popular boot, best known boot, is the 875, which is like an orange mock toe.
Right.
And orange actually is fantastic because it's sort of like a stone Rambler. It goes well with earthy toned outfits, but also you can put orange boots underneath black jeans and it works fine.
That's true.
Brown boots under black jeans.
So yeah, gorgeous color on this. Perfect like middle range tone, and it just goes with everything. It's an everything boot, and I wish I had these sooner. In fact, I'm very disappointed in myself I just got these last year. I should have had these like 5 years ago. So yeah. Number 1 best Truman boot. If you wanted to have a one and done boot, it is of course the Java Wax Flesh. It's not just me saying this. Truman says this as well. I'm pretty sure Nick agrees that Java Wax Flesh is just the apex of Truman boots. It is. First off, the wax flesh, it's from Horween. It's got like a nice chrome excel smell about it when it's brand new, but as you wear it, the wax flesh, the wax on the surface wears down, and you see that underneath it reveals more natural tones. It's almost like a T-core almost in a sense that you can wear through and see more of the natural undertones coming through, and as you expose more of the nap, it gets hairier and fuzzier. Now these were re-waxed, so I re-waxed these with Birchie's birch tree tar boot conditioner, but
I actually have some footage of my own Java Wax Flesh Truman boots.
Yeah.
The last is a bit different nowadays, but I'm going to show that so you can see what this looks like when it's a bit newer and a bit less heavily treated as these ones.
Yes,
But
for sure.
it's a Horween leather. So the Rambler leather we've been rambling on about is from England.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Horween in America, in Chicago.
It's more natural.
It really is their flagship boot. It's the Java Wax Flesh boot. It's also like if you go on their website, they've got lots of pictures of this boot, like worn to an incredible degree that it's just like almost like a light brown, really, really fuzzy, hairy, nappy sort of boot.
Yeah.
And also I would note that the Java Wax Flesh, one way that it stands out is that it's such a dark brown that it's almost black, which again means that it goes relatively well with like both black jeans and more earthy colors like blue jeans and khakis and that sort of stuff. It's one of those few colors that goes well with earthy and also with more monochromatic sort of looks.
Right.
And also it's just the way that it wears in. You'll kind of delight as the boot ages and gets more beat up and fuzzier and reveals more of its natural character. The Rambler's good at that, very good at that, but this is great at that. It's a patina that you really earn, and it's like just more exciting the older it gets, which you can't say for a lot of things.
That's true. Absolutely. Yeah. It does get better with age, and yeah, you know, this is, like you said, it's their flagship, so it's one of their most preferred. Most people who go Truman, this is their purchase, you know, Java Wax Flesh. It's easy.
And this is the 79 last as well?
79 last, yes.
All right, cool. All right, well, those were the 5 best Truman boots. Very cool company. All the boots are very, very like strong and sturdily made, and they just play around with really exciting leathers all the time. So check them out. Very cool company. Thanks to Dale for having me.
Absolutely, my man.
And
anytime.
subscribe to this guy on YouTube, and also to me as well. If you just got here, subscribe to me as well. Lots of boot content.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
This guy, he's the style guru. You need to know you need to hear what he's saying.
Okay, I'll take the compliment. All right,
Absolutely.